शहर हैदराबाद रोटरी क्लब ऑफ हैदराबाद प्राइड की जानिब से इंस्टॉलेशन प्रोग्राम मुनक़िद किया गया है। 2023-24 के प्रेसिडेंट मोहतरमा नरगिस सकीना यार खान जी और मोहतरमा फातिमा जी एज ए सेक्रेटरी खिदमत अंजाम देंगे। मेहमान खुसूसी जनाब सुरेश रेड्डी साहब मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट राज्यसभा ने शिरकत की है। गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर के तौर पर मोहतरमा पर्ल घंटा जी और भी दीगर रोटरी क्लब के साथियों की शिरकत से इस प्रोग्राम को कामयाब किया गया है। इंस्टॉलेशन ऑफिसर जनाब डीजी मिस्टर शंकर रेड्डी के ज़ेर निगरानी इंस्टॉलेशन प्रोग्राम को सरअंजाम दिया गया है।
We can give them a helping hand so that they can keep up their good work. The kids and babies over there doesn't deserve to be there. They have just arrived in this world. To keep them occupied and amused and distract from their pain, the hospital needs 10 TVs and 20 BPI.
Now it's time to induct new members
12 nursing stations
to our club.
and 5 refugees.
I request the new members to kindly come here to say their according to name.
On thalassemia, as it is a rare blood disorder and it needs lot of help. We are also putting our thinking caps on for doing something for differently abled kids. Ladies and gentlemen, we would really appreciate and need your support to fulfill the cause. Thank you.
You're raising the bench for me. Today's guest of honor, a dear friend of mine, the District Governor, Dr. Shankar Reddy Garu. When you wanted to know what to call the outgoing president, after seeing the performance,
immediate possible.
no, I think I could call her outstanding president. Because the performance says that. Mrs. Asmaji and the most awaited president, Mrs. Nargis Khan. Mrs. Gantaji, you spoke so well, enlightened us on the various initiatives, and Madam Secretary, Asmaji. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to be part of the Rotary initiatives, programs, and today's long ceremony tells us the huge responsibility what beholds you in the future. I've been a speaker, like the resume said, I've been the Speaker of the House and been the member of Rajya Sabha, represented various committees, so I was flying high till Mrs. Khan called me, Nargis Khan called me and said, hey Suresh, mera installation program hai, so who should be the chief guest? Can you think of anyone? So I think the collar and gavel. I think the first thing she got to order was my ego. But then I realized she is right, because she is the daughter-in-law of great freedom fighter Aliya Jang Saab. Brother-in-law Latif Saab fought so many wars for the country. Coming from such an illustrious family, now where do I look, whom do I look, who can fill her eyes and the stage next to her? While I kept thinking, she was gracious enough to call me back and said, Suresh, you can do the honors. So I said, thank you. With me it's fine, because unke liye to main ghar ka bachcha hu. So I said yes, and I've been seeing her work. I've been watching Mrs. Nargis, not from now, but from many, many years. When I was a speaker, she took time off to come to my office. and then spoke to me on the various initiatives she has in mind, she had plans, and she had initiated. So I could see the passion in her. And all this probably came through upbringing, the family background, and fundamentally a passion to help the downtrodden. And today being installed as the president of this, the Hyderabad Pride, Anil, if you permit, I can probably call them the pride of Lions. Because each one of them have excelled, each one of them performed. So this is a continuity which will happen, and from one great responsible person, it is the mantle being handed over to another equally gracious and hardworking, full of passion, is something which really creates a lot of confidence in me, and also inspires me to start thinking, how can I be associated and how can I contribute to the wonderful work and various initiatives which have been already undertaken. While the theme is hope, and hope is what you all live on, and fortunately this is the 75th year of India's independence, as we are celebrating the Amrit Kaal, as you mentioned. We continue to grow. India is a very strong nation. India is emerging as one of the most powerful nations, whether in medical, technical, social, economic, everything is going on well. We are spinning out unicorns every month, every year. Unicorns, the billionaires, the young people who start startups. So we are becoming a very powerful nation. So this gives us the confidence, and this we attribute that where we stand today is not for what we have done today, but what our forefathers in the last 75 years and prior to that we fostered, and on the fundamental principle of coexistence. Live and let live is what India stands for, and we should continue to live in that hope and try to work in that direction. But what worries me today is, in fact, I had the opportunity, it's a matter of coincidence, that when our Honorable Prime Minister came to inaugurate the Statue of Equality, the world's largest statue of Ramanjanaya Swami, close to the airport. So it was a nice program which really spells a lot of our ethos and culture. But on the same day, a report came out which we had to tell in Parliament, that while the Prime Minister was inaugurating the world's biggest statue, India is emerging as the most unequal nation. There is a huge inequality which is growing in the country. Of course, I don't want to dwell too much on the figures. The figures, about 1%, 2% of the country having most of the wealth, and the bottom of the pyramid is where the concern is. Well, this primarily lies, the responsibility of bridging the inequality lies primarily on the government through its programs, initiatives, but there is a lot of intervention which organizations like the Rotary, Lions and these can come forward and contribute. In my view, there are a lot of areas where I personally feel the government should be an enabler, not an enforcer. In areas, we have seen this happening, social reforms happen not through government intervention, but through organizational interventions. So when there is an organizational intervention, it creates a confidence, it doesn't create a scare, it kind of brings in a lot of harmony and change happens. This has been happening. The old social beliefs, the old social evils, most of that was eradicated through a social awakening undertaken by organizations like yours. It was not the government which intervened and said, do this and don't do that. So such thing needs to continue. Rotary's role also is changing. I mean, my perception of Rotary was only medical camps. In the rural areas, medical camp Dano, cataract and all that, it was very limited. But as the country progressed, I'm very happy to note that even you progressed. You're one step ahead, you're thinking ahead, you're planning starting, you're initiating on various subjects which concern the people, especially the poor people, and you're intervening in those. So in a situation like this, definitely, like I said, while the government will continue to be the enabler, you should be the initiator. Now, I don't want to get too much into politics, but just to throw light, a thought on you. That today, various things, we're talking about equality, we're talking of commonality. Now, what is commonality? Commonality also means that all of us we should have common issues, common laws, fair enough. But that should come from the government. It should come through change in the society, an awakening through organizations like this which bring it. That is how India, for what it stands for, continues to remain and continues to progress in the path what our forefathers had envisaged. It's been quite a time, so I would like to congratulate Mrs. Narjis-ji. I'm very confident because I see you closely, how you work, how you initiate, and your determination. And more than the determination, your boldness, the way you put people in their place, if you see anything wrong. So that, I'm sure, should keep guiding us. And while let me not limit myself just to talk a few things and leave, not just pouring my heart, but let me open my pocket strings too. So as a member of parliament, we are entitled for some funds. So any initiative which you take, which works, for example, you're doing skill development. Now, skill development is one area which we are all very enthusiastic, concerned, and seriously working. Skill development starts right from the government of India to the government of Telangana and all the way down, because things have changed. Now, skill development doesn't mean diesel mechanic, petrol mechanic. The times are changing now because as things are emerging, new technology is coming in. So, ye bache sab, they should get trained in the new fields. So, there is an employment opportunity for them. How do you do it? Well, you can collaborate with the government, with the local agencies, and then I'm there for you to be a catalyst for bridging whatever is needed. So this way, I think this initiative from Hyderabad Pride should be very exemplary and also should be a role model for various other clubs to emulate. So thank you, madam, for making me part of this wonderful function, and wishing you the very best in your endeavor. And I congratulate each one of you because the presentation really showed how concerned you are, how as a team you have been working, and how well you have achieved your cherished ideals and dreams. So I congratulate all of you and wish you the very best. So thank you once again. Namaskar.